Beautiful. Okay. Aloha.
Aloha.
So in English, can you speak to us about your visit to Rimatara and this bird that we call the ura? How did you feel about it? What is your interpretation of it?
My visit to Rimatara was one of the best trips I took. I enjoyed the island so much, felt the mana, the history. I got to visit and see the ura in nature. Such a beautiful and endangered species that deserves to be preserved. People need to wake up and realize that without nature and the animals and plants of nature, if we lose that, everybody is a loser. It is worth fighting for, defending our land, defending our culture, our people, our animals, plants, fish, ocean. Everything's tied together. So if one of these things are lost, it is a loss for everyone, and the world will suffer from it. So everybody should raise their consciousness and do something, do what you can. Even little things mean a lot. So learn about things around you and do what's in your power to help conserve, protect, and preserve what makes Tahiti paradise.
So coming back to the ura, simple things like planting trees, teaching the children in the schools. Can you just speak to us about the importance of these types of actions to raise their consciousness about the importance of this species?
Definitely, education is the key. If you don't know what you're doing in life, you're walking around, roaming around, aimless, not accomplishing anything. So we need to teach our children the true history of our land, of how we survive, the importance of planting trees to protect nature and not destroy. And there's suffering everywhere in life today, and we need to turn the tide on the destruction of our planet, of our islands, and make a difference.
Could you, I mean, off the top of your head, would you have some concrete propositions that the the government could do to, or the locals can do, that people at the individual level could do to help to, let's just keep it on the Rimatara. What do you think are some subtle but effective actions that could be taken to ensure the longevity of the species of the ura?
I think the key is, again, teaching the children because the future belongs to the next generation. So, any type of program to teach the kids the right thing to do to keep our land clean, keep our water clean, and educate themselves as to what needs to be done to preserve a future for the coming generations.
What did you feel? Can you just tell us what you felt when you saw this bird, the ura? And you can see, say, in the full phrase, like when I saw the ura. Well, can you tell us do you remember this experience? And then what did it make you feel?
When I saw the ura, I have never forgotten the feeling of a species that is on the brink of extinction, similar to the plight of the native people of the Pacific Island people around the Pacific are on the brink of extinction. The invasion of foreign species, foreign people onto the land, buying the land. Our future lies in the preservation of our paradise and do everything we can to not realize a day where we say paradise lost. So the ura is just another important aspect that needs to be focused on to continue the beauty of nature for future generations.
That's really nice. I like this analogy about invasive species and in the general context, and so in Rimatara it's completely applicable. We do not have the black rat um, today in Rimatara. And today we have biosecurity agents who are present at every boat, who are inspecting all of the containers with biosecurity dogs. So what are your feelings about these types of continued biosecurity actions?
Unfortunately, they're necessary. We live in a time where it's so easy for foreign invasive species to be introduced. Boats coming in, planes coming in, non-stop freight traveling back and forth. It is very difficult to control, but it's something that has to be done. I don't think we have a choice. So everybody needs to participate and do what they can to help preserve the future of Polynesia. And wake up, people. The time is now.
So in French Polynesia, there's only 3 islands that are known of that are to be free of the black shipwreck. So Uahuka, Rimatara, and Rapa. Now, it's really a prerogative for conservation organizations to preserve these islands because of their unique biodiversity. In Uahuka, we have the pihiti, which is another form of a parrot, more of a lori. And in Rimatara, we have the lori of Rimatara. So just to come down to the biosecurity again, from an organizational and conservation level, we do have actions in place here. What would you like to say to these organizations about their work? What would you like to say to them about their continued efforts to preserve these places from the black rat?
Well, first of all, I noticed you used the word French Polynesia. I would like to correct that. For me, Polynesia, or even better, Tahiti. That's the first step when you recognize that we are a unique people here, and we do have unique flora and fauna. And to put a label on our country as French Polynesia, I disagree with that. I prefer using Polynesia, or better
So
yet,
here,
like I
let me
said,
rephrase the
Tahiti.
question. Here in Maohi Nui, and or Tahiti Nui, I don't know. I think it was Maohi Nui would be the more commonly accepted appellation. So in Maohi Nui, so we have 3 islands: Uahuka, Rimatara, and Rapa, who are free of the black ship rat. What would you like to say to these conservation organizations who have put in the biosecurity measures to protect these islands from the arrival of the black ship rat? What would you like to say to these organizations?
I would like to say hats off to them for doing a good job and doing everything. It's not an easy fight to stop an invasive species from coming in. It takes effort, it takes dedication. Hats off, but I realize that, these efforts are done by a handful of people, and the general population don't even think twice about it, but they reap the benefits. So, you know what? People need to wake up and participate. I think that's a really weak point in our situation today, that people just don't put in effort to do the positive things for the future generations. And, hats off to the people that are doing something about it. Without them, where would we be today?
So in the 1900s, the early 1900s, the Queen Tamaeva from Rimatara, the last queen of Polynesia, of Maohinui, she put a taboo on this bird. So we could see that it was forbidden to be taken from Rimatara. So we know that she was conscious of the conservation. Now, today's people, tell me, do you think that they still have the same mentality about looking forward? And if not, what can they do to better strengthen that?
Great thing. It blows my mind that she had those thoughts 100 plus years ago. And today, people don't even give it a second thought. That's why we're in the situation we're in today. Putting a taboo or a protection over a species native to our land. I mean, nothing better someone can do. And to have that foresight so long ago, I think today putting a taboo on selling land to foreigners would be a good step forward to preserve the land for future generations of Maui. Give you an example. I come from Maui, Hawaii, And to buy a home on our land today, the minimum price, 120 million Pacific, to buy a small home. And if we don't do something today, soon the people don't wake up. We're heading down that same road where our native birds, plants, animals will be gone. Our people are becoming more and more closer to becoming a minority. There's battles. You can wake up every day and find something that you need to stand for, positive, for the future of our land, our people, and our native flora and fauna.
Do you have a message that you would like to address to the people of Rimatara or the people of places like Rimatara where there's native species that are endangered? Do you have a message that you would like? I mean, it's been redundant. Also, your message of taking consciousness, etc. But maybe you have a positive message of support that you would like to give to these people.
You know, I've been to many, many places in my life around the world. In the Pacific, in Tuamotu's, Austro Islands, I visited a lot of places, and Rimatara was special. Everywhere I go home, people ask me, oh, you know, how's life out in Tahiti? I said, well, you know, there's some places that are unique and special. And I always mention Rimatara. It's some place I never forgot and never will forget. There's a special mana on that island, ancient sites that you cannot, if you're in tune with what's going on, you cannot miss the feeling that it is a special place and it needs to be protected. And it would be a loss to the world for the ura to become extinct or even closer on the endangered species list. It's we're living in trying times right now, and everything needs to be done to protect our people, our native flora and fauna.
Okay, I asked you some questions. Now, I would like to give you the opportunity to, I asked you questions. If you have anything that you would like to say, yeah, the floor is yours.
Well, I would just like to thank Sam for doing this interview with me, and I speak from the heart. I don't hold back. You know, little things we can do, like not use the word French Polynesia. I know some people will get pissed at me for that, but you know what? The truth is the truth. We are Pacific Island people, and this is our native home, and we need to fight to preserve that. And you know, there's all kinds of battles around going on, fighting to preserve an endangered bird, the ura on Rimatara, a future for our children. And I think the two keys are not selling the land to foreigners and keeping the jobs for the local people. Two important aspects that need to be addressed. So, aloha and hui ho.